What do we know about olive oil, which Homer called liquid gold? You have probably heard a lot about olives and olive oil by now, but I'm sure that you will learn the information in this video for the first time. You thought you knew how important olives and olive oil are for the sustainability of human life, but now you will learn in more detail. Olive, which is Elaia in ancient Greek, Oleia in Latin, olive in Hebrew, has a story dating back to the earliest ages of history. The olive tree, which extended its branches 10,000 years ago, has passed through the ages, has watched many empires fall, and has been given different meanings in different civilizations, but has always been indispensable. They were first used in ceremonies, cooked, thrown into the fire and warmed, and then used to cleanse their bodies. They improved as they used it. Each civilization has added something new to the story of the olive. According to the excavations, the idea of making olive oil from olives started in the Bronze Age. The olive was the subject of poems in Hittites, passed into mythology as a gift from the gods, was an award in the Olympics, and was even so blessed that it became a source of light for the tomb of the Egyptian sun god Ra. And finally, it was taken under protection by the law enacted by Solon, the powerful politician of the ancient age. As such, the value of olives, called liquid gold, has increased and increased. The symbol of peace, thanks to the dove that brought an olive branch to Noah in the Old Testament. According to the book of Judges, a Bible book written in Hebrew, the king of trees is the olive, which has become a symbol of immortality by resisting in the flood. The olive, which has been the subject of legends, has become a hero to fairy tales. Every community has developed a belief about olive, blessed, respected, and cherished. So, what do we know about the benefits of olive oil to human health? Olive oil is known to be heart healthy for many good reasons. According to several studies, people who ate a Mediterranean-style diet that included 4+ tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil per day had a lower risk of developing cardiovascular diseases. Extra virgin olive oil has also been linked to improved cholesterol levels and reduced blood pressure. Oleic acid and various polyphenols are given their ability to reduce inflammation and oxidative stress and modify cholesterol levels in bloodstream. Oxidative stress is implicated in the progression of neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's disease, but extra virgin olive oil's polyphenols, particularly oleocanthal, function as potent antioxidants that may help counter this effect. In 2019, a study on animals found that oleocanthal-rich olive oil helped restore healthy blood-brain barrier function and reduce neuroinflammation in a way that may slow the progression of Alzheimer's. Most recently, in 2022, a Harvard University study found that people who consume at least 1.5 teaspoons of olive oil per day have a 17% lower risk of cancer mortality. An olive tree could live up to 2,000 years, and in general, olive trees have an average lifespan of between 300 and 600 years. Olives grow very slowly, and over many years, the trunk can attain a considerable diameter. Well, how many times have you seen this tree that can live for centuries, or have you ever had the chance of collecting its fruit? No? How would you react if there was an organization that gave you this chance? Have you ever heard about oleotourism? Oleotourism is an increasingly vigorous movement in regions such as Andalucia that surrounds various tourist activities related to olive oil production, whose aim is to disseminate the essential factors and refinement processes of this product. It's an alternative to traditional tourism oriented towards rural, ecological or gastronomic environments. Oleotourism may include guided tours with typical architecture in the olive grove, accommodation, restoration, hiking, relaxation and shopping or beauty treatments with this product. It has been determined as one of the objectives of developing the olive sector with rural and ecological tourism infrastructure and spreading the oil culture. World olive growing employs more than 35 million people, which represents about 1.20% of the world's active population and a business volume that sometimes reaches 40 billion euros. Another surprising benefit of olive trees is olives are among the 3 species that can best contribute to cleaning the air, according to the results of HPM, a research project coordinated by the University of Florence. This project aimed to identify the most suitable indigenous plants for combating air pollution caused by particulate matter. I'm sure you wonder what the term virgin you see on an olive oil bottle actually means. So, what the terms virgin and extra virgin mean? Why is this concept used? You will find lots of different data when you Google. However, it's not that complex. You get virgin soil, virgin wool, virgin forest, and that is the meaning for virgin in virgin olive oil. Pure, unadulterated, untouched. The technical definition of term virgin is that the oil is produced by the mechanical pressing of olives only and that it fulfills specific criteria regarding acidity and oxidation. What makes an olive oil extra virgin instead of virgin? Olive oils are graded using the International Olive Oil Council standards. The International Olive Oil Council is a United Nations chartered organization that has been recognized for more than 50 years as the worldwide quality standard setting body for the olive oil industry. According to the Council, both virgin and extra virgin olive oils are extracted by using only mechanical methods. After the oil is extracted, it's graded. If the olive oil is found to be fruity, has no defects, and has a free acidity that is less than or equal to 0.8, is graded as extra virgin. If the olive oil has minimal defects and is found to have a free acidity between 0.8 and 2, it's graded as virgin. Do you wonder where the olives and olive oil are produced? Maybe the answer is not what you expected. Many sources point to Mediterranean countries in terms of olive and olive oil production and consumption in the world, which is true. However, when the production and consumption amounts are compared, there will be many differences on the basis of country. Nowadays, almost 95% of the world's olive oil is produced in the Mediterranean region, and Spain is recognized to be the biggest olive oil producer with nearly a half of world olive oil supply. Spain produced 44% of world production. The next largest producers were Italy, Greece, Tunisia, Turkey, and Morocco. With the highest ever turnout, Turkish olive oil producers and exporters shine bright at the 10th edition of the World Olive Oil Competition, earning a total of 65 awards. From 116 entries, Turkish entrants far exceeded the last year's tally of 44 awards. Despite the dozens of wildfires swept through several olive oil producing territories, the country enjoyed a new yield record of 220,000 tons of olive oil in the 2021 and 22 crop year, according to the data published by the International Olive Oil Council. Interestingly, if we look at consumption, Spain is not the world leader for very little. The Greeks are in the first place in the world with an annual per capita consumption of 11.2 kilograms, while the Spanish are second with 10 kilograms. only behind Italy and Portugal in 3rd and 4th place. This consumption has had a substantial economic impact with a turnover of over 1,300 million euros. Stunning results for a business that employs tens of thousands of people and relies on the domestic economy of a huge number of households. According to the IOC Madrid report in 2022, olive oil consumption almost doubled from 1990 to 2020. Provisional data for the 2020 and 2021 crop year point to a fall of 4.4% leaving consumption at 3,125,000 tons. Olive oil consumption has changed significantly in the European countries. World consumption has almost doubled. However, in the EU, consumption began to fall in 2004 and 2005 and has continued to plunge ever since. The European Union share of consumption has fallen from just over 70% in 2004 and 2005 to just under 50% in recent years. This fall is boosted by rising consumption outside the EU and a long-term positive trend in olive oil consumption worldwide. Meanwhile, of course, we cannot ignore the effects of coronavirus. COVID-19 has changed our behavior and consumers have shifted to purchasing better quality products, which has also led to an increase in the value of trade globally. Conserving and cultivating the olive tree is a growing imperative as the world combats and adapts to climate change. The protection of this cultural and natural heritage is important, and making World Olive Tree Day reinforces environmental sustainability efforts. Olive oil is such a culture that it has shaped civilizations throughout history. It's such a culture that we take pride in having olive oil in it for generations. We question our tradition of several centuries in 8,000 years of history. It is such a culture that we think that the olive tree is sacred, that we are blessed because we have it, and we believe that disasters will not come to the place where olive tree is.